Archangel Michael says, there comes a time when silence becomes louder than a scream, and that time has arrived in your life. The ones you used to run after are now shocked by your stillness, your peace, your withdrawal. It is not that you don't feel, but this time, you're letting the silence speak for you. You are no longer exhausting your spirit trying to convince anyone of your worth. The energy that once went into chasing, explaining, and proving is now being used to rebuild what was broken inside. This shift is not just a moment, it's the beginning of your divine uprising. People who misunderstood your heart will soon understand the strength of your absence. Archangel Michael says, your steps are being divinely guided away from those who never intended to stay. You've finally stopped running after doors that were never meant to be yours. You are walking into a new season where your peace is protected, and your presence is powerful without explanation. You're no longer seeking validation from voices that never deserved access to your vulnerability. Your silence is your sword now. Type Amen to get blessing 333. You're learning how to sit with your pain without letting it force you into desperate decisions. The urge to chase is gone, not because you don't care, but because you've healed enough to know your worth doesn't beg. You are no longer begging to be chosen, you are choosing yourself. There's something magical about how you've detached. Those who ignored you feel it now. They're wondering how you got stronger in their absence. Your soul has learned to let people go without waiting for them to return. A quiet strength has wrapped around you like a shield, and the ones who thought you'd always run after them are stunned. Archangel Michael says, you are now walking away without flinching. You're becoming unrecognizable in the best way possible, wise, calm, and spiritually rich. Your focus has shifted. What once made your heart race now feels like an echo from a life that no longer fits. You are not cold, you are clear, and clarity has become your superpower. Type Amen to get blessing 808. The hands that once reached out are now resting calmly by your side. Your heart no longer jumps when you hear their name. You've taken your power back, piece by sacred piece, and it shows in your every move. People are starting to whisper about your glow. They can't understand how someone they overlooked is now walking like royalty. You stopped chasing, and the whole universe started chasing you. That sudden quietness from your side? It's not revenge. It's revelation. Archangel Michael says, you're being elevated, and they cannot reach you from where they chose to leave you. The tears have dried into wisdom. The screams turned into serenity. And the heartbreak gave birth to your spiritual awakening. Type Amen to get blessing 219. This journey wasn't about forgetting them, it was about remembering you. You are not the same person who once accepted half love and broken promises. You're building walls where there were once open doors for the wrong people. The more they pull away, the more you blossom. You're not even mad, you're just done. Done explaining. Done trying. Done hurting yourself trying to hold together what was already falling apart. There's a certain kind of beauty in your new boundaries. You're not bitter, you're better. And the ones who took your softness for weakness are now watching your strength in silence. Archangel Michael says, They thought your silence meant defeat, but it's your loudest victory. You've traded chaos for calm, arguments for peace, and desperation for direction. Type Amen to get blessing 474. You're beginning to smile for no reason again. The fog is lifting. The heavy energy they left behind is dissolving like mist in morning light. It's not that you don't care, it's that you've finally realized they don't. And that realization saved your spirit from burning out completely. You are not giving up, you are giving it to God. Now, they're checking your pages, revisiting your pictures, asking mutuals about you. But they won't find the version of you that needed their attention to feel valuable. That version has been buried, and in its place stands someone untouchable. Archangel Michael says, the storm they left you in became the training ground for your rebirth. You walked through the flames and didn't come out burnt, you came out crowned. Type Amen to get blessing 562. You are attracting the kind of love now that doesn't make you doubt. It's because you've emptied yourself of those who made you question everything. You're not seeking a half-presence anymore. Your energy is too rare to keep investing in empty spaces. You are not for those who can't decide. You are not for those who leave and return as if your heart is a checkpoint. Your peace is non-negotiable now. And when they reach out again, you won't even flinch, because the old you is not home. You're too far gone, in the best way possible. They're starting to realize they fumbled something eternal while chasing temporary thrills. Archangel Michael says, their absence is your gift, and your detachment is their lesson. Type Amen to get blessing 1011. You're learning the sacred power of silence. You've stopped chasing after them and started chasing after purpose. And your life is beginning to echo with divine alignment. This isn't just a phase. This is the breakthrough. The way you don't flinch anymore, the way you don't wait for their call, the way you sleep peacefully now, it's all proof. Proof that you're being healed. That angels are rewriting the chapters they interrupted. That the detour they caused was just redirection toward destiny. They will miss your heart when it's no longer available. They will wish they had loved you louder. But by then, you'll be with someone who doesn't need reminders to value you. Type Amen to get blessing 1177. The people you used to fight for are now fighting confusion. You've left the arena of trying to prove anything. Let them talk. Let them wonder. They don't know the price you paid for this peace. They don't understand the nights you cried into pillows, praying for a way out of that cycle. But you made it out. You no longer want them, you want you. That's the power. That's the blessing. That's the glory rising inside your spirit like a sunrise refusing to be ignored. Archangel Michael says, your name is being whispered in new rooms. Not because you chased, but because you withdrew. Not because you begged, but because you bloomed. Type Amen to get blessing 2220. You no longer care who walked away. What matters now is who stayed, and more importantly, how you stayed with yourself. You held your own hand through the wreckage, and now you're walking forward with grace. Your strength didn't come from revenge or resentment. It came from your refusal to be reduced. You're not the storm anymore, you're the calm after it. You stopped running after people who only noticed you when you disappeared. Now, your silence is louder than their words. Your presence is more valuable than their promises. Archangel Michael says, you've been spiritually promoted. You are no longer available for confusion. Your heart is no longer a playground for those unsure of their intentions. Type Amen to get blessing 3829. They're going to regret how lightly they held you. You were not meant to be chased, you were meant to be chosen. And now you're finally acting like it. They wanted you to beg, to plead, to break, but you chose to breathe, to heal, to rise. You did the hard thing. You walked away from the fire without dragging the ashes with you. You've become a mirror. Everyone who enters your space now is faced with truth, the truth of your peace, the truth of your strength, the truth of your growth. Some can't handle it. And that's okay. Because your life is no longer a waiting room for people who don't know what they want. Archangel Michael says, your clarity is shaking their comfort. Type Amen to get blessing 1477. You've turned every unanswered text into a step forward. Every missed call into an opportunity to listen to your own voice. You are not lost, you were learning the way back home to yourself. They thought you'd be broken without them, but you're becoming beautiful. You don't need them to reach back, you've already reached ahead. You're building a future that doesn't include waiting. You've outgrown their indecision. Their silence is no longer a mystery, it's a message. And you've read it loud and clear. Archangel Michael says, now that you're no longer chasing, the right people will come running. They'll arrive with peace, not pressure. With truth, not confusion. Type Amen to get blessing 9099. This is your liberation era. The era where you stop giving discounts on your love. Where your energy becomes sacred, and only the worthy gain access. They used to treat you like an option. But now you walk like a priority. Because you finally understand, you were never too much. They were just never enough. And now you don't need closure, you need distance. Not conversations, but clarity. And most of all, not them, but you. Archangel Michael says, your soul is healing, and heaven is applauding. The angels are celebrating your courage to detach. You're no longer chasing what was never chasing you. Type Amen to get blessing 5644. You're not heartless, you're healed. That's why they don't recognize you anymore. You've become too whole to entertain their half-efforts. They will miss your softness when the world gives them nothing but sharp edges. They will long for your light when they sit in darkness. But by then, you will be untouchable. You don't need revenge, you need rest. You don't want their explanation, you want elevation. And you're getting it. Archangel Michael says, the one who used to cry for them is now the one being prayed for by others. Your name is rising on lips that used to forget it. This is your justice. Type Amen to get blessing 7773. They won't find you where they left you. You've moved beyond needing their approval. You don't even check who's watching your stories anymore, because you're too busy living one worth reading. You've turned heartbreak into harvest. The same tears that once drenched your pillow are now watering your new beginning. What they couldn't build with you, you're now building without them. This isn't just healing, it's holy transformation. You've stopped trying to be enough for them and started realizing you were always more than enough for yourself. Archangel Michael says, stop looking back, it's not your direction anymore. Keep walking. What's ahead is built for the new you, not the old them. Type Amen to get blessing 6281. You're learning to love from fullness, not from fear. To give without depleting. To exist without shrinking. They wanted you desperate. You chose to be divine. They wanted you broken. You chose to be bold. This is your moment. This is your reclaiming. Your no is holy now. Your silence is sacred. Your absence is echoing louder than your presence ever did. Archangel Michael says, you've stopped chasing, and now blessings are chasing you. Peace is showing up where pain used to live. And your name is being written in rooms they'll never enter. Type Amen to get blessing 3030. You no longer rush to reply, because your time is no longer for everyone. You've stopped showing up where you're not seen. You've learned that being unavailable is sometimes the highest form of self-love. You've stopped offering your soul to those who only wanted a piece of you when it was convenient. Your spirit was not made for partial love, delayed responses, or conditional loyalty. Now, you walk away from anything that doesn't give peace. There's a new fire in your eyes, and it burns from wisdom, not from rage. You found your light, and it no longer flickers based on who stays or leaves. You're steady now. Archangel Michael says, this silence you're keeping? It's not emptiness, it's power gathering. The angels. You lost. Type Amen to get blessing 8200. They didn't think you'd survive without them. But now, they're watching you from afar, wondering how you turned your loneliness into light. You're a walking miracle they can't understand. You stopped running after people who made you feel like you had to compete. You no longer play the game of proving. You simply walk away when it's not aligned. Your growth is intimidating to those who were entertained by your struggle. You're no longer accessible to chaos, confusion, or casual energy. You've become selective, because your peace costs too much. This season is not about revenge, it's about release. Archangel Michael says, they will learn your value in your absence, but you won't be waiting for their realization. Type Amen to get blessing 3770. The ones who dismissed you will feel your absence like a missing heartbeat. Not because you were loud, but because your presence held meaning. And now, your silence is louder than ever. You've become a mirror for everyone around you. You no longer tolerate half-effort. You've raised your frequency and now only match with those who carry clarity. Your energy has become rare. They can't fake the depth you carry, the love you offered, or the warmth you used to give freely. And now they miss it, but it's no longer available. Archangel Michael says, you're being hidden for protection, not rejection. You're not being ignored, you're being preserved for the ones who will cherish you completely. Type Amen to get blessing 4466. You're no longer explaining your boundaries. You're enforcing them. You've finally understood that peace requires distance, and love isn't proven by pain. You don't need closure from people who were never open. You've stopped knocking on doors that don't answer. And in that stillness, you've found strength that can't be shaken. They were hoping you'd stay stuck. But instead, you soared. They thought the silence would break you, but it built you into someone unshakable. Archangel Michael says, your soul is protected. Your energy is sacred. Your path is now divine. You're no longer seeking what left, you're stepping into what's meant. Type Amen to get blessing 9111. You're not bitter, you're blooming. And that confuses them. They expected you to collapse in the silence, but you danced in it. They tried to make you feel small, so they could feel bigger. But now, your glow exposes everything they tried to hide. Your absence reveals their character more than your presence ever could. You've made peace with not being chosen by them, because now you've chosen yourself. And that decision is attracting everything they couldn't give. Archangel Michael says, prepare yourself. The peace you've claimed is about to multiply. The blessings they blocked are now rushing toward you. Type Amen to get blessing 5577. You don't respond out of emotion anymore, you move with intention. That's the difference now. You're no longer reactive. You're aligned. You don't need to prove your growth to anyone. It speaks through your silence, your posture, your peace. You are not performing, you are just being. Let them wonder what happened to you. Let them miss the version of you that was easy to access. You've evolved, and the door they walked through is now sealed. Archangel Michael says, what you detached from was only delaying your arrival to destiny. Let them feel the weight of your absence, it is part of their awakening. Type Amen to get blessing 6060. They underestimated you because of your kindness. But now, your kindness has boundaries. Your compassion still exists, but it's not for those who trample it. You are no longer a rescue mission. You are a revelation. You are the storm that turned into calm waters. And they don't know how to swim in stillness. You no longer seek justice, you are living it. Every step you take away from them is a step deeper into divine alignment. And every tear you cried became part of your elevation. Archangel Michael says, the doors they shut are now portals of breakthrough. You lost nothing, you were redirected toward everything. Type Amen to get blessing 7474. You are no longer grieving their distance, you are grateful for it. Because in their absence, you found your essence. And it's more powerful than any apology they could ever give. They thought you would chase, but you chose to change. You shifted your focus from them to the higher version of yourself. And now you radiate peace they can't access anymore. Your new silence is not cold, it's complete. It's the sound of healing, of trusting divine timing, of letting go without fear. They will feel the absence of your energy more than they ever felt your presence. Archangel Michael says, they're not just losing you, they're losing the version of themselves that existed when you were around. And that loss will haunt them silently. Type Amen to get blessing 8181. Every ignored message was a message to yourself, stop offering where it's not received. Every delayed reply was divine redirection. You no longer need their presence to feel whole. They were feeding off your love without ever learning how to hold it. And now that you're gone, they are starving. Because no one loved like you. You are no longer clapping for those who never clapped for you. Your silence is not empty, it's filled with truth. You've stopped watering dead things. Archangel Michael says, heaven saw how long you stayed when you should have walked. And now, a divine reward is being prepared, not to hurt them, but to honor you. Type Amen to get blessing 9950. You are not meant to chase what is fading. You are meant to attract what is destined. And you're doing just that, with grace, with quiet strength, with divine elegance. They will come back, not because they changed, but because your energy is unforgettable. But you? You won't be the same. You've outgrown the version of you who used to wait. There's power in what you no longer react to. In what no longer moves you. And in what no longer tempts you back to what broke you. Archangel Michael says, your silence is now a sanctuary. It is keeping your spirit sacred while the world tries to pull you back into chaos. Type Amen to get blessing 3340. Your glow is unsettling to them. Not because you've become distant, but because you've become divine. You're not reachable in the same way anymore, and that's by design. You've learned to rest instead of beg. To surrender instead of struggle. To preserve your energy instead of spilling it on the undeserving. They didn't expect your silence to be permanent. But you're no longer proving your presence to people who never deserved access to your light. You are moving in silence, but arriving in greatness. Archangel Michael says, the path ahead will be flooded with favor. Not because you chased it, but because you aligned with it. Your stillness summoned a storm of blessings. Type Amen to get blessing 2121. You've stopped fighting to be understood. You're no longer explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. Now, you simply walk away. The ones who took your energy for granted are now begging the universe for your attention. But it's too late. You are already in motion, toward peace, toward purpose, toward power. They will scroll through your life like a book they regret closing. But the chapters they skipped were the ones that built you. And now, they no longer deserve a front row seat. Archangel Michael says, every tear you shed watered your next harvest. You weren't falling apart, you were being repotted into richer soil. Type Amen to get blessing 7788. They will talk about your silence more than they talked about your loyalty. Because now that it's gone, they realize it was the most valuable thing you ever gave. You're not ignoring them, you've just finally prioritized yourself. You're no longer participating in your own pain by staying where you were never celebrated. This is your rise. This is your quiet comeback. You don't need a crowd to witness it, just your healed soul, your calm mind, and your unshakable peace. Archangel Michael says, they thought they were choosing peace by walking away, but you were peace. And now, that peace has returned to its rightful owner, you. Type Amen to get blessing 3033. You don't flinch when their name comes up anymore. That's healing. You don't linger on memories anymore. That's progress. You don't wish it was different anymore. That's growth. What once broke you now builds you. What once drained you now empowers you. What once held you back now fuels your future. Your life is now an echo of freedom. Every moment is no longer tied to their existence. You've finally cut the cord and stepped into your own light. Archangel Michael says, they walked away thinking you'd chase. But you stayed still, and in that stillness, you soared. Type Amen to get blessing 4666.